Today we are going to take this tenderloin roast, we're going to trim it down, we're going to tie it up so it's nice and uniform, and make a Chateaubriand out of it. Let's start by taking off this side muscle. And cleaning everything off the top. Most of this you could actually peel off with your hands. There's a little bit of connective tissue that you might have to cut, but for the most part it just peels right off. We'll take off this little bit of membrane here. It'll cook up much nicer without this membrane on it. Yeah, tenderloin is actually one of the most tender cuts on the entire carcass. It's actually it's one of the most expensive as well. It makes a terrific roast. It is a little, like I said, on the spendy side, but it's going to make a nice, really nice holiday or family dinner roast. It's a little bit leaner than most. Like it's not like a ribeye. A ribeye's got a lot of fat content in it to keep it nice and moist. This one's pretty lean roast, so it'll dry out fairly quickly if you overcook it. We'll just take off some of this on the bottom just to clean it up, make it look nice presentation. Most of it's fat. There is a little bit of a bone felt, which is the connective tissue between the meat and the bone, like this right here. And that stuff does tend to be a little bit tougher. We got that pretty well trimmed up. Take a little end cut off of there. And down at the bottom, I'm going to try and make it, take a little bit of the tail off here, fold it back underneath so it's basically a uniform shape all the way down, uniform size all the way down. I'm just going to butterfly it, not cut all the way through, just enough to fold it under. So we get a nice shaped roast. Just like that there. So I'll take some of the string here and tie up the end. Throw a couple extra around this side. The string also helps keep its shape, its form. I'm not tying it too tight. I don't want it to cut into the meat, because tenderloin's so tender that string will cut right through the meat. You don't want to do that. And there's the finished product. We get a nice uniform roast right there. It'll cook much more even that way, instead of having a nice long tail that it gets really thin at the end, it'll cook nice and evenly that way. So I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to this roast. That's all I like to use on our roasts. Painted Hills natural beef has a great flavor to it, something you can really taste, and that's what we prefer, is that our customers taste the actual flavor of the beef instead of the seasoning you put onto it. If you start off with good product, you're gonna finish up with just a phenomenal roast. I season all sides of it. That's what we have. We got our roast. I always like to cook my roast hot to start off with. I preheat the oven to 450, cook it for 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of get a little sear going, and then I like to turn it down. The lower you cook it, lower temperature you cook it at, the more evenly it'll be cooked. So we'll pull this out at 125 or so, just so it's nice medium rare, and it'll be pink from end to end. Yeah, we're making the Chateaubriand sauce. It's gonna have a nice little wine and beef broth base with all kinds of fresh garlic and mushrooms. We're using green onions. Fresh garlic. Add a little olive oil in the pan, and then we will, alright, we'll start with the green onions, toss those in first, and kind of stir those around for a minute or so. Then we'll add the mushrooms. And we're gonna saute these until they're nice and tender. Got some nice fresh tarragon out of Gabrielle's garden. We'll add a nice flavor to the sauce. All right, next we're gonna add some beef broth. This is going to be about 2 1/4 cups. We're going to add this and continue to simmer it for about 15 to 20 minutes until it cooks down about half. It'll be nice and thick that way. Last step calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to substitute a little extra virgin olive oil on top. Then we're going to add tarragon, fresh tarragon. Then we're just going to season to taste. A little salt and pepper. Right. There's your Chateaubriand sauce. So I just pulled this right out of the oven. We pulled it out at 125 degrees, let it rest for about 15 minutes. Now we're going to slice it up and put the sauce on top. we are, Chateaubriand.